So students, so now we have come on the second part of this chapter, and this will counted as a second volume, okay? And first volume already it is over, and in second volume we used to see that in this chapter what is there? The house is already engulfed in fire, okay? And here the narrator's mother is very much worried, and what he is saying, my mother then ran out of the house carrying a small metal box full of important documents, and mother, when she observed that the house is in fire, then what she did? She didn't sit at one place. She went inside. Okay? Why she went inside? She dropped the case on the lawn and in a crazed state ran back into the house. I knew what she was after. And here narrator is saying, I know my mother very well. Why she ran inside? Although the house it was in fire. Okay? But my mother she went inside in the house. My father had died when I was very young, and I was certain that she was not going to let his pictures and letters got up in flame. Inside the house, what was there? The picture of his father was there. The letters of his fathers were there. And mother did not want that those things they should be burned. Okay? Because there was some affection, there was some love with that particular photograph. Is it okay? So here what he is saying, he is calling his mother also, that mother, why you are going? Even the narrator is saying that I also wanted to go. But what happened? Someone has stopped me from the backside that you cannot go. I was about to run after her when I felt a large hand holded me. What happened? From the backside one hand came and holded me that you cannot go. You are not watching. The house is in the fire, and if you will go in the fire, what will happen? You may also burn. Is it okay? And who was that person? He was fireman. Is it okay? And I had not even noticed that the street had already filled with fire trucks. I was trying to free myself from the grass, yelling. And you don't understand, my mother is there. And narrator, what he was saying? I became very much annoyed on that fireman. And I said to the fireman, fireman, you are not watching that my mother is going inside. And he started yelling also. And he started crying also. And he started shouting also. Okay? And what he was saying, you are not watching that my mother is going. If my mother will engulf in the fire, then who will be after me? Okay? So, he helped me without other firefighters running into the house. And he knew that I was not acting very logically. Okay? And that fireman, he knew very well that I am not simply saying, but behind that, there was a particular thing related to my mother, because my mother, she went inside. Okay? So, what he said, that it's alright, that they will get there, and he said, and he wrapped a blanket around me and set me down in our car. And what that fireman, he did, he brought a blanket, and he covered me all around from the blanket, and he told me to sit at one place. Okay? And that place, it was a car. Yes? And soon after that, a fireman emerged from her house with my mom in tow, and he quickly took her over to the truck and put an oxygen mask on her. And what happened? Another fireman, we see that he brought the narrator's mother. Okay? And narrator's mother was, she was unconscious at that particular time period, and she was just sent into the truck. Okay? And in the truck, what was there? Oxygen mask it was given, because the respiration it was not proper, okay, to his mother. And I ran over and hugged her, and all these times I was very much argued with her. And when narrator, he says that when I saw my mother, I ran, and what I did, I hugged my mother. Okay? Because in that condition, the narrator is saying that I didn't see my mother, and first time I saw my mother in this condition. Is it okay? So, she is going to be okay, said the fireman, and she just inhaled a little smoke. And what fireman said, don't get worried. Your mother is okay. Because she went inside in the house, and there was smoke there, then what she did, she little bit inhaled the smoke, and because of that she is becoming unconscious. Is it okay? And then he ran back to the fire, while my mother, I said the days, I remember watching my house burn down and thinking that there was nothing I could do about it. And narrator is saying, in front of me my house was burning, and I couldn't do anything just to stop the fire. Although the fire brigade was there, although the firemen were there, but he was saying, the narrator, because my house was burning and I couldn't see that my house was burning. I was standing helpless over there. I cannot do anything that my house is burning. Is it okay? 5 hours later, what happened? The fire was finally out. After how many hours later? 5 hours later, okay? My house was almost completely burned down. And narrator is saying that my house was completely burned, okay? And then it struck me, I had not seen my cat. And after that, to whom I didn't see? My cat was absconded. Okay? I didn't see my cat. And much to my horror, I realized that she was nowhere to be found. And narrator was saying that I searched here and there, but I didn't see any impression of my cat. Okay? And I was thinking that where my cat went away, because he loved his cat a lot. Okay? So then all at once it hit me, and the new school, the fire, my cat, I broke down in tears and cried and cried. I was suffering loss big time. And what narrator was saying? That when I came to know that my cat is missing, my cat has been absconded. Okay? What narrator was saying? That I was crying and crying. Okay? The fireman would not let us go back into the house at night. And on that particular night, the fireman gave us instruction, you cannot go inside the house. Because after 5 hours, what happened? The fire lit off. Okay? And it was still too dangerous, dead or alive. I could not imagine leaving without knowing about my cat. Okay? And what happened? It was still dangerous. We couldn't go inside the house because still the flames were there. Okay? Because if we entered in the house, what will happen? We may also catch the fire. Okay? So there was an instruction, and I was worried about my cat. And much of my horror, I realized that she was nowhere, dead or alive. I couldn't imagine leaving without knowing about my cat. Regardless, I had to go. We piled into the car with just the clothes on our backs and a few fireman blankets. So what happened? I thought that no more my cat it is. Okay? And we sat in that particular car, and the firemen, they brought the blanket, and on the blanket my body was covered, and made our way to my grandparents. And from that particular place, where we went? We went to our grandparents' house, okay, to spend the night. So what these firemen people they did, they shifted us from that place to our grandparents' house. Is it okay? So in this volume we have seen. Tomorrow we will see the next part. Thank you.